wizard hat. 4. Why so serious?
3. Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
We have a Hulk.
2.
Show me your moves.
I'm Groot. 1.
What's that flashing? Hallucinator flicker shield. Don't trap yourselves in. I'm gonna make the jump to light speed.
Go!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the Random Fandom Show. I'm your host, Matt Muich.
I'm Josh Muich.
And I'm Nick Vittorio. And special guest returning, Mr. Nick Drennen, once again.
Hey!
The Night Stalker, what was
Nightwalker.
it? Nightwalker.
The Night Stalker.
The Night Stalker.
So today we're going to talk to you guys about comics.
What's new, what's old, everything so far in comics.
With comics. Just wanted to talk a little bit about, comics, I guess.
That's okay,
Oh,
cool.
wow. It was super enthusiastic.
I got into comics pretty much. I mean, we read some of the Avatar things back when, but I didn't really.
I mean, those are short and they can hardly count. I don't know, they just seem like added episodes of Avatar show, yeah.
Of The Last Airbender. But it really started for me when Star Wars, the new canon stuff was coming out, and I got the Marvel lines for that, the Marvel titles, Star Wars, Darth Vader, Princess Leia, and Kanan the Last Padawan. So those really got me into Marvel.
And those hoard our mailbox about every week.
Yep. And then the Spider-Gwen story came out, and then I got the Spider-Gwen comics, and I absolutely loved them.
And for those who don't know, that's in an alternate Spider-Man universe, Gwen becomes the Spider...
Gwen Stacy, Peter Parker's girlfriend, becomes Spider-Woman instead, and then Peter dies.
It's
Spoilers.
very much Elseworld.
Yeah, but I absolutely loved it, and so I got into a bunch of the other Spider-Man comics, and so, I absolutely love comics now. So...
And I just read what you get.
And then also Nick
Great.
Nick, you showed me a bunch of Batman comics and stuff, and like Justice League and other things. So I read those during the year as well. So, and I mean, I've enjoyed about every comic I've read. I don't think I've disliked any comics.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, as far as I go into comics, I've always loved Batman. But I've never really had the resources or tools to get comics up until I started being a big kid. So now I'm getting comics all the time. Just with me being a huge Batman fan and being a huge fan of the animated series as a kid, as well as the Justice League series as a kid and the Superman series, all those different movies, I've always had an interest and lean more towards DC stuff. So I'm a little more versed in that, but that does not mean that I don't like Marvel. I love I've gone through the Winter Soldier series. As I started that immediately after seeing Captain America and getting a hold of the Marvel Unlimited app, thanks to Mr. Dan Rhoda, who has been on the show a few times. Thank you, Dan. It's awesome. And then, I'm still working on Civil War. I'm going through the whole thing, so all of the connecting comics that are with it, so it's 145 issues total.
Yeah, the Road to Civil War and
Road to Civil War and the actual core Civil War stuff. But no, I just like I said, I started getting into comics just recently, but yet not so recently because I've always had an interest and always have read up on them as far as storylines go on the internet and all that. But now that I actually have a means to get comics, such as an income and, being independent, because my parents were like, we ain't buying you that. So, but now, super into them, love them, and can't wait to read more. Always looking to read more. But Nick, lay down the comic history, and Nick is more of a manga fan, if I am correct. Tell us more about that.
Manga, it would be the Japanese version of Stutter Man, Stutter.
Stutter Man, the new comic line
Yes.
of American Comics.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. It's always the vowels. Let's see. Well, let's see. For the for manga, they're read backwards compared to regular comics here in America.
Really?
Yes. Yep. So you would have to read right to left.
Interesting.
And you would have to start from the back all the way to the front.
That's probably why I hated those things. I read them completely backwards. Yeah, the story never made sense.
It's like, wait, that guy's dead. Wait, he's alive now.
Wait,
what?
Am I reading Memento right now?
Yeah, I actually, my friend Alex, who was on the show just not too long ago, he introduced me to the Scott Pilgrim mangas, or whatever you call them. Those are like graphic novels, I guess.
Yep, graphic novels.
Yeah, so I read those, and those were the same format, back to front, backwards.
I also have had experiences with manga a long time ago. I was in 4th grade, and our cousin Joe, he brought the Trigun manga on a bus trip, and I read that, and I really loved it. It was awesome. So.
Oh, Trigun, you're so old.
Yeah.
What else do you got for us, Nick?
Let's see here. What else? Here for
Well, as far as manga goes, what is the best?
the best.
The best.
Or at least what's like your favorites?
Favorite, sure.
My favorite. Personally, I'm more of a shonen guy, or the superpower. Just kind of like the heroes slowly going from how they were at the beginning, just slowly growing in power, getting more stronger. So kind of like Dragon Ball Z.
This would be like your Naruto's, your One Pieces.
Yeah. So basically, the big three, as the anime community calls them, which would be Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. In which Bleach is actually ended as an anime, but not a manga.
Okay.
Now, talking with you a while ago, it sounded like One Piece was kind of a big thing too. With I guess you just said as part of the big three. I always saw One Piece on Saturday morning cartoons. I thought it was very interesting.
The dubs are so bad for those.
I can only assume.
Well, then again, that's purely like my preference. It's the Japanese dialogue that I like more for that kind of series better. But there are certain shows like let's see here, Black Lagoon, for example, is actually a very good dub. Oh, it's very entertaining.
Entertaining as in it's really bad, or it's
no, it's good. It's
okay.
very good.
Okay. Not like Josh and my Nick Cage fandom.
Oh my gosh!
We love it because it's so just over the top bad.
I will never forgive you for forcing me to watch Wicker Man ever.
You loved it.
I didn't at all. Like, that wasn't even so bad it's funny. That was just so bad.
We
Drop Dead bad?
Yeah. Honestly, one of the worst movies I think I've seen.
Yeah. Nick, I know where you're coming from with the whole dubbed versus Japanese for anime. Anyways, whenever we watch anime, we always do subbed. We always watch with English subtitles so that we get the better, I don't know,
translations.
Yeah. And just like what the original characters sounded like, what they were actually feeling.
It's not like they had to make up extra things to fit how their mouth was moving, stuff like that.
like the really old Godzilla movies.
Yes.
Oh my god, those are horrible.
Didn't we used to watch those? I know I had Godzilla vs. King Kong, and that was wow.
I'm pretty sure we've seen every single one.
I have not seen I haven't seen Mechagodzilla. I remember being at your house and seeing it there, but on the shelf, not on the TV.
Yeah.
All right, back to comics.
Tangents.
Tangent Man. All right, cool. So now we kind of have a little history as far as what everyone's into, but I know that Matt has been recently reading up on what's coming up in the new Marvel phase of comics.
Right. So, big picture right now, one of the reasons why people didn't really get into comics was that there were so many. There was just so many that all like mixed together and interconnected, and everyone was like, well, how do I get the whole story? So right now, Marvel is in the middle of Secret Wars, which is their giant event where all the different universes, all these different places that people cross over and stuff, that's all coming together, and they're all fighting, and it's one giant story. And there are titles galore, you can't even keep track. But after Secret Wars, that's basically the end of the whole, like, the main multiple universes thing. So they're really combining all the different characters. Some are dying, some are surviving from different universes. So it's going to be more of a mix and mash one Marvel universe.
It'll be a fresh start for Marvel Comics.
Right. And so that's why I think it's a good time to do a comics episode right now, is so that people know that after Secret Wars, with the all new, all different Marvel, it's a perfect time, the perfect time to start getting into comics. Because these are all like origin stories that you can start off with, and you can learn characters, and it's all going to develop. You won't be missing really anything. They might have some ties back to like during Secret Wars or whatever, but nothing that you're going to need to have. I have also been getting into the Spider-Verse. That's what going into Spider-Gwen, that was all tied in. She was created for Spider-Verse, which is the multiverse of the Spider People, like Spider-Man. And so that, I just got a lot of comics, and that's why I'm so into this right now with all of Marvel and stuff. But
before you get into that, I think it's important to say too, like, you don't necessarily have to start from the beginning of a line, really.
Right.
That again, you adding on to what you had said just about like, well, where the heck do I start? I mean, there's so many different things, and you know, it is good to start at a point, like if you do want to go right from the beginning to the end. This whole Secret Wars thing, that's kind of the big event there, that's going to reboot the whole kind of, well, I don't know if I want to call it a reboot, but you know, DC just did it with the New 52 after Infinite Crisis, and now they're going to be doing it again since the New 52 line is now ending. But I think one of the most helpful tips that I heard is just grab a comic that interests you and just start reading it. Like, you don't need to be like, oh, well, I don't want to be missing out on stuff. Like, there's enough resources for you out there now, especially, where you can kind of, if you're really interested, you can kind of read up on it beforehand. But also, I mean, stories are good regardless, you know. I wouldn't say, like, pick up an issue from the center of, like,
Civil War or something.
Crazy series, yeah, like Civil War, but, you know, just start a line. You know, I liked Winter Soldier, so I picked Winter Soldier and just started reading that, and it was awesome. So, I mean, there's no one place to really start. It's really a matter of taste and where you want to go with them.
If you already know the character, it's not like you're going to need to know the origin of the character in the comics. You already know their origin if you're interested. So,
and for each character, there's a dozen origin stories.
Right, exactly.
It's like you're going to get it either way.
Going off of that, Marvel's kind of shaking it up with the whole new universe now, because things have changed for sure after Secret Wars under the new Marvel universe. So now there is the all new, all different Avengers. So everyone's used to the cinematic universe Avengers, which is Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye. That's it, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not missing anybody.
Ant-Man?
Oh,
He will be here
will
soon.
be.
But not yet.
Not yet. But the new Avengers is Sam Wilson or Falcon as Captain America. Iron Man, he's still there. Then there's Nova, Miles Morales as Spider-Man, Miss Marvel, the Vision, and then Lady Thor. So these are the new Avengers, what they're going for. They have a bunch of new different titles too. Like I said, they changed things up. If you want to start off with Doctor Strange, they have a new line for that. Captain Marvel, Sam Wilson as Captain America. The Totally Awesome Hulk, the first issue has a small description of who is the Hulk. So, like, I don't know if they changed the character or not. Then it's the Mighty Thor, which is Lady Thor. So the Thor as we know it in the Marvel Cinematic Universe isn't going to be in these this new line. They have the all new Hawkeye. They have Astonishing Ant-Man and Vision. If anybody's a fan of Marvel's Contest of Champions, the mobile game, they actually turned it, since people liked it so much, they actually turned it into a comic title. So you can now get the line of comics of Contest of Champions.
This is a mobile fighting game.
Yeah. Then there's my favorite section, which is all the new Spider people. Well, new, I don't know. All the new Spider titles. So you have your regular Amazing Spider-Man.
That's classic Peter Parker.
Classic Peter Parker. Then they have Carnage #1, which I'm super excited for this line, since Carnage is my favorite villain. And also just, I haven't really seen a comic focus on a villain yet. I haven't read one. I know that they're out there, but I just haven't yet, and so this really piqued my interest. Spider-Woman, Spider-Man as Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, Silk.
So Silk is a new Spider-Woman.
Right.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2099, that's a Spider-Man from the future. Web Warriors, which is basically the Spider-Verse coming together again. Daredevil #1, which has Daredevil and who looks like Gambit on the front of it.
It looks like that might be Gambit he's with, at least for the start.
Guardians of the Galaxy, it has a girl, Peter Quill, it looks like.
Yeah, I was confused by that.
And then the Thing is also a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And then Venom is as well. And it says, at the small description, it says the raccoon's in charge. Really interesting stuff. There's more stuff. There's Drax, Howard the Duck.
Yeah, there's a single Drax one, which is interesting.
Howard the Duck?
Yeah, bring Howard the Duck back.
Send in the duck.
There's Nova, Star-Lord, Venom, Space Knight, Howling Commandos of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if you like the show.
That one, it looks like it took a lot from the show, so that should be...
Yeah, Coulson looks like Coulson in the show. Uncanny Inhumans, Karnak,
that one piqued my interest just because it doesn't look like anything I've heard of before. It almost reminded me of Kick-Ass, the way his mask is shaped or whatever.
Yeah. Angela, Queen of Hell, Squadron Supreme, which both Josh and I were like, who is that? And they look like a band of, sort of like an Avengers type of thing. And so it looks super cool, and I'm excited. Extraordinary X-Men #1, Uncanny X-Men #1, All New X-Men #1. They have a lot of X-Men.
Yeah, there are a lot of X-Men. It's a pretty big chunk of their universe, so it makes sense.
And then Old Man Logan is going to be another line.
A lot of people are excited for that.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about the old Man Logans with Father Mike.
That's what they say that the new movie's going to be about, or at least, I mean, because he's getting so old now.
So old.
Yeah, so old.
But, yeah, Wolverine is Old Man Logan, and then they have the all-new Wolverine, which is a woman Wolverine.
Wow, she's got 2 claws.
She's got 2 claws instead of 3. Deadpool, and they just have all these new titles, and I think it's one of the best times to start off. If you're like me and want to be a completionist and get the whole title, like the whole series, you don't have to wait until it's at like 225 to start. You can get it at #1, which always feels nice. But yeah, I think that just, especially for me myself, I always like the sort of alternates to the normal heroes in like Marvel comics and stuff, and also other things. I always like the alternate things. Like Spider-Gwen is...
So you mean like kind of a reimagining of the original?
Like how Scott Lang is Ant-Man, even though Hank Pym was the original.
Right.
I really enjoy... That might be one of the reasons why I really enjoyed it. I like... Spider-Gwen's my favorite superhero right now, just because the comics are so good, and I just like the idea of it, and they handle it so well.
It's just a fresh take
on it. A fresh take on it, yeah. Something like that. And I like the whole new idea of Lady Thor and stuff.
I heard she's naked a lot, though.
Is she?
That's what I've heard.
I haven't heard anything.
It's like, why...
So she's a nudist.
It's a problem.
Lady Thor is a nudist. There's a new policy on Asgard.
So...
Yeah.
Really?
If you guys want to see the covers for the new lines, download the Marvel Comics app, go to the free tab, and then it should be under all different Marvel previews. I would encourage you to do that because it doesn't cost any money, and you can check out and see what the art is like, because I know that reading comics is also dependent on the artist a lot of the times. There's some art that just puts me off, and some art that just absolutely catches my eye for some reason. So look at who the artist and the writer are, because you can see what they've done before, who like how well they've done and stuff. So, but it's a great time to get started, especially if you're into the Marvel superheroes and DC superheroes. Which is a great segue. Nick, why don't you tell us about about DC Comics?
Well, currently the Convergence series, which is kind of the big ending, as similarly to the Secret Wars thing in Marvel that's going on. That's about to end. I think it actually has ended, though. It's been some crazy stuff going on in that. I have not started it yet, but would like to. But, yeah, they're going to be starting over as well. So, I think we had mentioned this before on previous episodes, but they are now going to not necessarily tie in their comic universe with their cinematic universe, but they're going to release more comics that are geared towards characters that you may take interest in based off of the TV shows, based off of the movies that you'll be seeing. So they're going to be cutting a whole bunch of comics out. So the New 52 line is ending, but they're also going to have returning titles such as Action Comics, which is Superman, and the super, super popular Batman comics that are out right now with like Court of Owls, which I am currently right now, and it is fantastic. It's one of the best ones that I've read so far. But yeah, they're going to be adding a lot of different titles. I know that we've covered this a little bit beforehand, but we have Batman Beyond is getting their own comic book line series, and I don't know, did you ever watch that show?
Yep.
Yeah, so that show was so awesome, and we got a little taste of the Batman Beyond character in one of the Batman Future comic lines. I think it was a graphic novel, but or it might have been a series. But no, then we're getting Black Canary, who's gained a lot of popularity due to the Arrow series. Cyborg, with him coming into the cinematic universe, he's going to be getting his own comic book series.
He's so popular that Marvel made a version of him.
Who's that?
Deathlock.
Deathlock?
Yeah, I don't know if they made it just because of Cyborg, but
he is a cyborg.
Yeah. He's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's awesome, and then they also did a comic line of him as well. So
interesting. Just a few more to add, like Dr. Fate, Justice League. They're getting a new series with a different writer and illustrator. Martian Manhunter is getting his own series, which is just freaking awesome. Like, I cannot wait to read that. That'll be awesome. Red Hood is getting his own series as opposed to Red Hood and the Outlaws, which was him, Arsenal, or Red Arrow, whatever you want to call him, and Starfire, which was kind of a semi-controversial line. But whenever you have Starfire in it kind of is, because they just do not know how to draw her with clothing on. And speaking of her, she's getting her own series, so we'll see if they can actually make that work. And then I know that, Matt, you've been interested in this We Are Robin line,
mm-hmm.
So we're getting a lot of different Robins. Again, this hasn't been released yet. I think they're supposed to soon, actually. But, yeah, looking forward to that. They're also having a few, mini-series. So Batmite, which could be very interesting. It's kind of a very odd universe, so those little mite things, kind of like Mr. Mixoplex and stuff like that. Bizarro is getting his own miniseries, Harley Quinn / Power Girl, so that should be an interesting one too.
Mm-hmm.
But then we're having those returning comics such as Action Comics, Batman, The Flash, Detective Comics, which is another Batman line. A lot of the stuff that I'm currently trying to read is returning, which is good to hear, so I don't have to start over. Not that I would, but Matt, I know you've been trying to get into the Aquaman too,
mm-hmm.
which I hear has been just a fantastic line, especially for revitalizing a character that's been made fun of for his entire, history as being the guy who talks to fish. So I would like to dive into that one as well, but Yeah, I mean, again, it's DC has put out a lot of pretty awesome comics. As far as what I would recommend for that, I really love the graphic novels that they put out. There are some fantastic Batman ones, fantastic Superman ones, such as Batman. You got Year One, The Dark Knight Returns, which is one of the most iconic graphic novels of all time, especially for the superhero genre. Let's see, The Death of Superman is one of the highest selling graphic novels, which was actually a series that they put on a long time ago, which is extremely campy. I am not too big of a fan of the dialogue in that because it is so like Silver Age campy Superman like craziness that's borderline painful to read. But the fights are so good, and I love the Doomsday character. It's one of my favorite villains. But yeah, I mean, good start as far as that goes. The Deathstroke comic line is supposed to be really good as well, and that is another character that's really intrigued me. But it's anywhere you go in DC, in my opinion, is awesome. Green Lantern is another one that has been putting out a lot of really well written and well illustrated lines, especially with oh shoot, I'm blanking on the name. Green Lantern, Blackest Night. That's what it is. I've heard really great things about that, so I might check that one out as well. But I'm working on it. Jump into it, whether it be Marvel or DC, really. They're both, these newer lines have been awesome. But Dan, I'm going to talk to him, see if he can put some of his own suggestions, because he actually started a lot in X-Men in the Silver Age and stuff like that,
Right.
which he said was kind of tough to push through, but he's so glad that he did it, from what I heard. I'll talk to him, see if he can put a blog post up as far as his review for that, but that's DC that's going on.
So, with DC, is it doing what Marvel is and just kind of continuing and that's the reboot, or is it like just like kind of cutting and then having a hard reboot?
Well, they've done that different ways. Like with Infinity Wars, it was just an insane, or not Infinity Wars, Infinite Crisis, was just this crazy, insane, like alternate universe and alternate dimension. Like that's how they solved it. So technically, it's almost like retconning or rebooting all the stuff from the past and starting over on a clean slate, but in a different universe or a different like dimension. I know that at the end of Convergence, the line that's going on right now, they've explored that as well. So it's just kind of a nice little nod to it. But I'm not, again, I haven't finished it or really started it. Actually, I want to. But I don't know how they're going to wrap it up as far as that goes, if they really are going to go into the whole, well, here's the next dimension with all the different heroes and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, there's been some hard reboots, but it's also kind of a continuing story in some lines.
Yeah. Both Marvel and DC seem to have like their main, like most popular ones. They keep going, and then they cut some of the not so good ones or just unnecessary ones. The ones that get too confusing for them, they probably cut a lot of those and then start from there. And they'll obviously build on it, and I mean that's what comics have been doing the entire time, is build, destroy for the whole comic like lines and universes and stuff. So, yeah. And that's half of the fun is getting a fresh start.
Absolutely. So Nick, from an outside perspective, you're not too into the superhero genre as far as Marvel and DC goes. Yep. But what do you think about all this stuff that's going on?
All the reboots for them?
I mean, just and in general, like it's coming again from an outside perspective as someone who maybe might be interested in getting into this kind of stuff. Like, I don't know, what kind of interests you? Where would you kind of want to go with that?
That's a pretty good question. Complete outsider right here. Actually, not completely. Kind of read comics here and there. I think
I should loan you some.
Yes, Batman. Let's see. I have read some X-Men, some Spider-Man, some Batman, and some Superman as well.
Nice.
You kind of versed in that then.
Yeah, kind of. But for newcomers, or for just somebody seeing this for the first time and hearing this, this actually sounds like something really good. It's just since it's a reboot, it seems like okay, anyone can get into this now. Like you guys were saying, new origin stories. So it's just boom, you can pick up the first copy. It's just, oh wow, this character, I actually really like this character. Now I can keep going and maybe further down the line there's this crossover between two other characters. You see that, just that one also looks very interesting as well. Maybe I want to go see that one as well. In which that slowly grows off, and comic addict like Nick here.
I haven't reached the addict point, but I'm getting there. I'm working on it.
I think I'm getting there too.
Yeah, I think you are.
Yeah, he is.
Like, I haven't gotten to the point where I'm getting issues in the mail. I'm not a huge fan about the issues thing. I'm more of like a be patient and wait for the whole volume to come out, just so I have something to like read for an extended period of time, not have to wait because I'm impatient. Yet I have to have patience to wait for them to come out. It's good for me because I technically have to catch up with everything, so all of those volumes are already out, and I get to just purchase volume 1 of Court of Owls or something like that, and pick that up, read it for however long it takes me, because I'm a slow reader, and then go get the next one. So with these new universes again, I'll probably just have to wait. I'll continue reading the older ones, the series behind the newer one, I guess, and just be forever behind. But enjoy them.
One of the things that I think is cool, just an idea that I have, is if you and some of your friends all want to like enjoy comics together, but you don't want to spend all the money, each one of you could get some of each of the different lines or whatever, and then share them. And that's one of the best parts about comics, is I know that I share with Josh all the time all my comics and stuff, and I'll be sharing with Nick, and Nick shares with me, and everything. That's one of the best parts, is sharing with other people. So if other people, like, if you get a group of people together and you want to share them and have just, I don't know, I think that's fun. I think that's a good idea.
And Marvel has a pretty awesome subscription-based program, or app, actually, that I was talking about, that our friend Dan has, the Marvel Unlimited. So you, for $10 a month, I think it is, you get every single comic book line ever, I think, or most of them.
Most of them. Yeah. Not necessarily all of them.
Majority.
Not all of the new ones, but the majority of like the old ones, especially.
So just for $10 a month, you can have pretty much an unlimited amount of comics, even though it is limited.
For an idea of price wise, the Marvel subscriptions, for the print subscriptions, to get them in the mail each month for each issue, it's, I think, like $27 for a whole year subscription to one line. So, I mean, that's, if comics are priced at like $4 a pop normally at stores, this is like about $2.50 for a comic at most. So, I don't know, that's what I'm doing, and it's been working great. I'm happy about it. So that's been our talk about comics. Tell us what you guys think. What are your experiences with comics? And does this sound interesting, or should we stop talking about comics? You let us know in comment. We've gotten messages. Well, one message on Facebook.
Yeah!
One message on Facebook, which we'll be talking about in our next episode, I think. And, let us know. Give us feedback. We love it. We enjoy it. And we hope that you enjoyed this one.
All right, everyone. I have been the Ring Bearer.
I've been the Holocron Keeper.
I've been the Smash Hero.
And the guest, the Nightwalker.
Keep putting the fan in fandom, guys. Till next time. See you later.
Peace.